How do I look? Am I looking good today? How about the guns? Guns looking good? Oh, we got some replays to look at. I haven't seen any of them. That's exciting. I got some good ones pulled up. This very first one looks very exciting to me. Looks very exciting indeed. This looks like a team like a friend of mine would draft. It looks a lot like something a friend of mine would draft. And a team that sweeps me versus a team I'm just very excited to watch. And this guy's team versus the Stall team. And then we got just a overall cool team. Like that just looks like a normal good draft team. Doesn't particularly stand out, but it looks strong. With a good pilot, that a team like that will do well. This is a particularly scary team to me. And what else do we got here? I feel like I haven't even seen this team before. Oh yeah, Neji's team. Got Metagross, huh? That's interesting. Yeah, that's a terrifying team. And then the team I'm gonna put him in the bad guys position here. But then our main character, that team ain't bad. Now who else we got? We got a Terapagos match. Very exciting. Get to see Terapagos doing a little damage. Very exciting indeed. Let's go, baby. What else? And then the last match of the day, we already watched. We can turn that off. Or wait, which one is more recent? Lechonk versus... Oh, so that's the newer match. So what was... We already watched this one then. Okay. Turn that off. Get rid of that one. We watched that one last week. How about that, huh? How about that? Oh, yeah. Shade this thing up a little bit tonight. Trim that up. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I don't know why I'm streaming. I don't know why I'm procrastinating. Do we have some fun? Do you guys want to watch some replays? Let me make sure my microphone is on. Okay, are we on the right microphone settings here? This seems to happen every time that there's something wrong with the audio, so it's good practice to check your audio settings before going live. Not after, I'm already live. Half of you would have missed what I've said already. Okay. All right, watch this. We're gonna get ready for the video by doing it like this. Check this out. That is one of the scariest teams, and it looks terrible. Let's see how this plays out. Now that's gonna be the first couple seconds of the video. Now we're gonna cut to the main camera. Ladies and gentlemen, the draft league replay analyzer Sean Bon Jovi is back with another episode and a whole host of replays to watch. Check this out. I got this match. This match, this one, and that one. We're gonna have a good time. Buckle up, let's watch some replays. My mouth hurts. I have a giant cut in my mouth, it's hard to talk. But anyway. Let's remember to play with sound off on all these videos today. I don't remember how this electric terrain team did last week, but it's playing a very standard team this week, so let's see how it does. I believe this electric terrain team ended up losing to Stall, so maybe this matchup is going to be more favorable for it. As Gholdengo ends up tricking a pair of choice specs on a Ting Lu that couldn't have gone worse, whereas Gholdengo got leftovers. That's pretty good. Gets that spike up, and he's just going to keep spiking, that's fine, but... yeah, he's just going to rapid spin those away, get some damage down, and that's nothing. So, it's kind of interesting. I feel like Angels is winning right now, but he isn't winning by a whole lot. Psyblade ends up barely hurting the Whimsicott. So we go back to the Ting-Lu, who won't really take big damage, but if a Leech Seed goes down... Oh, he ends up U-turning. Okay. You know, it's not often you'll see U-turn on Whimsicott on the ladder, but oh! A giant Mega Horn from Great Tusk takes down the Iron Leaves unexpectedly. I didn't even know that thing got Mega Horn. You see, this being my first... more advanced draft league, I'm seeing a lot of coverage moves that you wouldn't typically see. I got hit by one quite embarrassingly myself this week, I must admit. And a Moonblast going into the Iron Bundle does a ton of damage. You might think Iron Bundle is more especially tanky, but you'd be wrong. In fact, there's a lot of physical bulk, but just one special hit is enough to take it down, as we're seeing maybe the world's first cursed Pincurchin, who's now getting heal blocked, but manages to secure the KO with a singular Zing Zap into Primarina. I must say I'm quite surprised. What did he go? He went into Custap Sucker Punch. It's almost like he didn't know his own set, because he could have easily clicked Zing Zap there and gotten himself a KO, but he ended up using a priority boosted Sucker Punch, so almost like a +2 Sucker Punch, when he should have just went for the +1 Zing Zap. Yeah, and one of the fans in the chat is saying the same thing. Why did you Sucker Punch when you could have easily Zing Zapped? They probs don't have anything better. Incorrect. No, they had Zing Zap. It was fantastic. That was a great situation. Stone Edge from Ting-Lu coming in. Another Mega Horn. Lechonk is not doing well in these first 2 weeks. The first week he did very well against the Stall team, and I know firsthand just how difficult Stall can be, but he lost in a pretty tough way, in my opinion, in the match this week. Let's check out our next replay. What do we have here? Again, we have Terapagos, who I'm extremely excited to see. And then we have an Ogerpon Grass and an Ursaluna Blood Moon, who are Pokemon I have on another draft league of mine that I play in. Now we're looking at a little Hisuian Quillfish, maybe a good Intimidator, and a Crocolore, who's Eviolite and quite defensive. The overall power of his opponent's team looks a little weak, excluding a singular Volcarona, who of course is very strong. I'm going to say that I think Don Platinum has the better chance of winning, so we're going to go ahead and switch sides. Put him in the bad guy's position and play the replay. Now, I'm keeping a close eye on this Terapagos. I want to see what it does. Wellspring into Zapdos is probably the worst case situation, but Slowking is a fantastic switch. Now, hopefully he can maybe do like a Chilling Reception of some sort. Ends up getting a Sludge Bomb into the Quillfish, which does about nothing. Corviknight into the Quillfish. I don't believe Quillfish should get knockoff, so he should be able to defog these away or switch out. He does end up defogging. You see, you didn't really need to defog those spikes. You could have just gone directly into the Slowking Galar or maybe into a Heavy Duty Boots Pokemon. These toxic spikes just aren't that bad. You know what I'm saying? Crunch into Volcarona, doing 60% damage is far more than I had anticipated. That is quite a lot of damage. Holy cow. Back into Crocolore, who can eat up the Volcarona for days. A double switch into Corviknight. Both players... Alright, let's be honest. The Crocolore was a way better switch, and he's taking great advantage. You know, I've always felt like Eviolite on this Pokemon with Unaware could be quite tanky and effective. And I'm happy to see, you know, kind of walling out this team. Again, his opponent doesn't have a lot of power, so just about anything can wall it. But it's cool to see that it actually works. Out comes Greninja into the Slowking, into the Corviknight. You know, I feel like Don is getting the better of most of these turns, but that Quillfish just managed to go down a little earlier than I would have expected. Only 34% off the crit into Corviknight, so definitely Spadef invested. He's looking to get some physical damage down, but all he really has is the Ogerpon. He's gonna really struggle to remove that Corviknight. Oliboy is doing a great job of using his defensive bulk between Corviknight and Slowking Galar to kind of hold Don down. Now, if he could get some sort of Stealth Rocks up, I don't believe he even has any Rock Setters outside of, what's that new Pokemon's name? Terapagos. If he could get some entry hazards up, he would be doing really well with all this switching going on. Gets a lot of damage down on the Zapdos, but he is risking a Para on his Ogerpon, but just gets lucky. Ogerpon versus Ogerpon into the Corviknight. Zapdos really helps out in the Corviknight matchup, and I think it's gonna... I don't know. What I'm saying is I think that this could be over for Don Platinum, but I don't think it's going to be over quick. I think this game is going to last for a while. Wow, a Yachi Berry into the Ogerpon. I'm surprised we actually got to see that. I mean, maybe an Ice Shard makes sense, but Icicle Crash, eating that up is surprising. Knock off into the Ogerpon. Who does he go into now? Bullet, probably likely Vacuum Wave. Yep, Vacuum Wave snipes off the Sneasel. Very nicely done. Threatens out the Ursaluna with the Terra Water Ogerpon. Wellspring takes that out, and I believe that's game for Don Platinum. We called that about 10 turns ago. Give me credit for calling out the winner of this game. Trailblaze Greninja isn't gonna do anything. Does this thing have Body Press to take this out? Surf, doing nothing. Roost, it's game. I'm not gonna wait for this game to get stalled out. GG, Don Platinum, good effort. Next game, we have a Sun team featuring Chien-Pao and Zamazenta and Metagross versus just a good stuff team with a solid bulky core. I feel like Serperior and Iron Valiant, you just can't go wrong splashing them into any team. Whereas Suicune and Umbreon are creating the defensive core of this team, Iron Treads offers the utility in forms of Stealth Rocks and Rapid Spin, but also often offers some fast offensive pressure and decent defensive typing. Chandelure is your Swiss Army knife who can just do so much, and that's your Pokemon you're going to have a lot of fun with in team building. Let's see how this match plays out. We get the Walking Wake, who's got a lot of power and a very nice matchup offensively versus this team. You don't often see Flip Turn, but I feel like you'll see that a lot more in draft leagues as opposed to ladder gameplay, which is where I usually see Walking Wakes. We get some Toxic Spikes down early. Those are nice, as he has no poison type to absorb those, but his Hazard's remover is going to be immune to it, so it's not going to be super hard for him to remove them. Thunder Punch not doing as much damage to Suicune as I'd like to see, but still forcing the Suicune out into the Iron Treads. He gets those Hazards off. Neji really has no way to prevent that Rapid Spin because he's got no Ghost type. I'm surprised he didn't go for a more offensive move to try and break the Iron Treads and maybe keep his Hazards up more easily. But he ends up going into his Gliscor named Itachi. Naruto fans in the chat, leave a like for that. All right, we got Serperior taking a hit ripping a hit into the Ninetales, but even with that damage boost, he's not going to do too much. Terra Dragon being a fantastic defensive Terra typing, ends up getting a Glare on Ninetales, one of his faster Pokemon. Not even really one of his faster Pokemon. He's got a really fast team. We see the Terra Fairy into Walking Wake, and Lucca's Supremacy here really doesn't have a way to damage fairies. I think a Fairy Walking Wake could do potentially a lot of damage in this matchup. Really not sure what he could do. He already revealed his Terra to be Dragon, so we're just talking about who won the Terra typing. He went Fairy, he went Dragon. It's pretty obvious who wins that. However, all these Pokemon are multifaceted and could pull through in any number of ways. Throat Chop into Iron Valiant could prevent sound-based moves. I don't believe Iron Valiant runs any off the top of my mind. Focus Blast into the Zamazenta does a ton of damage, so much so that Moonblast is able to clean up the kill with its 100% accuracy. Into the Metagross, who can probably rip a Bullet Punch, maybe get burned off Flame Body from Chandelure. Never lucky. Out comes the Ninetales, who's going to die to Shadow Ball. Not yet, but due to the paralysis, he should die here. There we go. Now, Lucca's Supremacy is doing great. He's actually leading Pokemon count-wise. However, some of the top threats are still alive on Neji's team. I believe Chien-Pao and a Fairy Walking Wake with the sun up should be able to, you know, really rally here. We're seeing, Walking Wake has already taken 2 KOs. It's about to grab another one on Umbreon. Ooh, he manages to let the sun go down. Was it Dry Rock? No, it wasn't, so sun is down officially. And it's not coming back up. Terra Blast takes out the Umbreon. We get the Dragon Serperior, who misses the Leaf Storm and ends up dying. That, my friends, is game. I believe that Metagross Bullet Punch should be enough to finish off the Iron Valiant, and if not, the Sucker Punch from the Chien-Pao should be. Bullet Punch takes it out, and that is game. That was a good one. I liked that. That was a good game. Here we go. Now these are just like what draft league teams look like. Like if you were to show me one of these teams and ask me, hey, what format is this for? I'm gonna tell you, that's a draft league team right there. That is a draft league team. It's not perfect, but it's dang good. That's what these are. Snowy Kurama, I like this guy. I'm always excited to watch their matches. Poison Jab early takes out the Whimsicott. Poison Jab actually looks great in this matchup. Out comes the Goldengo, who can eat up that Poison Jab for days, drops the Make It Rain, does nothing to the Excadrill. who can threaten out with the Earthquake now. In comes Noivern, frisks the Assault Vest Excadrill. Extremely interesting. Not sure what hits he's trying to take. I guess that helped him take that Make It Rain so nicely. Rips a Hurricane. He's able to take it quite well. Switches back into Deoxys. Out comes Gholdengo. Now he could easily rip a Dark Pulse. Oh, ends up being knockoff. Takes the weakness policy off Gholdengo. Rips a giant Shadow Ball. Manages to KO. Gholdengo with the weakness policy ends up switching out. Items over. Dark Pulse into Primarina. What do we get? A Moonblast here into Rillaboom? We do get a Moonblast into Rillaboom. Does a ton of damage. Big old chunk. But now he threatens with Grassy Glide. What does he do? Responds into his flying type with the resist. Ends up frisking a Choice Band on Rillaboom. Now that's valuable information. Now he knows whatever he selects, he's going to be locked into. And Angels is going to be able to take advantage of Snowy's Choice Band. Gholdengo being one of the premier responses to Sneasler. Interesting for the matchup. I see a lot of Sneaslers end up using Fling just to hit Gholdengo, but it looks like Snowy Kurama doesn't have the Fling tech this week. Ground type Arcanine, extremely effective. Nicknamed Goldenrod after Goldenrod City of the Pokemon games. I don't know if you've never heard of the Pokemon games before, they're quite good. Crunch is doing no type of damage. Burn on the Noivern. Looks like we're seeing a bit of a stalemate here. Psychic Noise prevents the heal. I've never seen Psychic Noise used, but it is so often used in this draft league that I feel like I'm doing something wrong not using it. I mean, golly, you guys use it a lot. Iron Head, Flamethrower. Noivern putting in a ton of work at the end of the game. Staying alive with his Roost and just managing to secure KOs with a mix of Flamethrower, Psychic Noise, and Hurricane that just can't seem to miss. In comes the Sneasler. No, in comes the Hydreigon. Out comes the Primarina. Earth Power, doing nothing. Rillaboom doesn't want to take another... Ooh! Well, I guess that is neutral. In comes Gholdengo. U-turn chip. What do we go into? Arcanine? Rillaboom. Choice Banded Rillaboom. You gotta be careful with what you select here, Snowy. Knockoff KOs the Gholdengo. I think that was a good decision. Absolutely what you needed there. Into the Arcanine, drops the Intimidate. Rapid Spin. Speed Boost. Goldenrod, the Arcanine is going to die here to the Headlong Rush. But now we got an attack drop, 2 defense drops, but a speed boost. Is still more than enough to outspeed the Sneasler. Extremely impressive from Great Tusk. I want to see where these speed EVs are. No Grassy Glide. Probably didn't want to lock into it with all these flying types left. So he gets KO'd by Megahorn. The second Megahorn Great Tusk I've seen now? Have I accidentally watched 2 of Angel's replays this week? Dark Pulse into the Primarina. That's game. Good job. Snowy, you'd put up a hell of a fight, but your opponent played extraordinarily well this week. Doing a very good job. Now we have MC, who I'll claim personal friend of mine, versus Ice Ick. I believe the owner of the league? I believe this is the owner of the league and his hyper offense team that swept me 6-0 just last week. Let's see how it plays out. Now, of course, he's going to be in the bad guy's spot because nobody 6-0's your boy. Okay? Ridiculous. We get a U-turn on Grimmsnarl. What do we think he's going to be? Maybe a Screens. Ends up parting shotting. Just keep up a nice little momentum. And we got 2 screen setters versus each other. Fortress taking the Earth Power quite well, if I do say so myself. Out comes the Dragapult, who ends up getting T-Waved, but a lucky dodge allows him to stay effective in this matchup. I think I just spit at the camera. That's disgusting. T-Wave into the Voltorb. Ineffective due to the electric type. Tries to discharge and paralyze the Fortress right back. These opponents, who both seem to have extremely fast-paced teams, are in fact playing quite slow. Turn 6, and there's about 5% damage total done this game. Thunderwave hits the Stamina Archeralodon for a successful paralysis, whereas his defense gets boosted quite nicely. And he gets sniped with an Earth Power from the Glimmora. Fully KOing Archeralodon, that should be a statement to you all of just how tanky that Fortress was, who ate the Earth Power quite nicely today. Surging Strikes into the Resist. You absolutely had to bring your fastest electric type in the game behind Regieleki to this matchup, or you're a dang fool if you ask me. Into Fortress. He's running Max Fizz Def on the Electrode. And I believe he's running Active Pads? Interesting. Just based off the chitter chatter in the chat, these guys are way smart being able to figure this stuff out on the fly like that. What do we got here? T-Wave, just a lot of paralysis getting spammed this match. And a lot of electric types. Thunderwave and Volt Switch from him. Is it Discharge and Volt Switch from him? Thunderwave, Discharge. Any more electric type attacks I should know? But these extremely threatening sweepers on Ice's team are staying alive. They're kind of just playing a slow game between their tankier Pokemon. But as soon as these sweepers get off the leash, MC could be in a world of pain. Ends up getting another layer of Reflect Up. And they say in the chat, what if we just pivoted for another 30 billion more turns? Well, it would ruin my stream and I'd be really upset. How about that? Should we start skipping ahead? Let's skip ahead. Surging Strikes comes in. Okay, I should have waited another turn. So Fortress comes out, and the rain boosted or Shifu Rapid Strike secures a KO versus the Electrode with rain boosted Surging Strikes. He does end up getting staticked. That's sad, but it's gonna happen. Enamorus comes out, able to outspeed after paralysis. I believe in comes the Float Soul, if I think so. Yep, Zoomies. Takes out the Blaziken, I'm sure, with a Wave Crash. Extremely powerful move. Surprised he's not running maybe a Liquidation. Wave Crash is more for a high defense team. But a team like this, I would simply run Liquidation, try and stay alive as long as I could. Do we get another turn? Nope. So in comes the Necrozma, who may try to sweep with Dragon Dance? Substitute. So different from the sets he ran versus me. What do we got here? Terra Ground, same as he ran versus me. Play Rough. Fades the Substitute. Now what is he going to do? Parting Shot? Yes, he is. Into the Pelipper, I'm sure. Yep. As he goes for another Substitute. Correct decision. Everybody's playing a perfect game here. Photon Geyser shouldn't be enough to KO the Pelipper. Yeah, not enough damage at all. Surf takes down the Substitute. And we can just play this game all day. So he ends up surfing. No, U-turns on the Dragapult, and out comes the Float Soul. Fantastic call. Fantastic call. Now, he's probably going to secure 2 KOs here by just spamming Ice Spinner. No, he's still got Wave Crash, so no Ice Spinner. Just Wave Crash. So he's only going to be able to grab 2 KOs here. Gets the Wave Crash. Now we have a Dragapult versus a Grimmsnarl and a Pelipper. So if I'm him, I'm going Grimmsnarl, and I'm Parting Shotting. Oh, T-Wave misses again! Thunder in the rain! And that's got to be game right there. Not even a chance. Wow. 2 terrible misses. This game would have been totally different had either of those landed, quite frankly. I mean, maybe not. I think he still would have lost in the end. But wow. Floatzel ended up securing 4 kills. If you don't think Floatzel is good, you are wrong. I've seen it being used in both of my draft leagues right now. 1 to great effect. 1, that dog has not gotten off a leash just yet, but I'm quite excited to see it do so. All right, and the final match of the day. One I'm so excited to watch because this Sun team is just so interesting to me. No Ogerpon, but we do see the Chi-Yu. Let's see how this goes. Terra types for both teams. I believe we're seeing a grass type Iron Moth and a poison type Sarina versus a fire type Shiftry and a dark type Arachnid. I must be reading this wrong. Oh, I'm totally reading it wrong. We got a ground type Shiftry, grass type Chi-Yu. Okay. And then we got a fire type Annihilate and a fire type Annihilate. Okay, let's watch the game. Stone Edge into the Arachnid goes for huge damage. Ice Beam into the Garchomp barely does 50% after leftovers. Switches into the Dugtrio. Stealth Rocks go up as the Earthquake takes out the Garchomp. Shiny Dugtrio into the Sarina. What does he have? Nothing but a switch to Torkoal. A physically tanky Pokemon can take Sarina well. as well as threaten out with fire-type moves. Rapid Spin for the speed boost is quite nice. The high jump kick, not nearly enough, while it does risk a lot of damage to Sarina. Rocks go up on both sides, but Sarina continues to be able to get rid of them via Rapid Spin. Lava Plume comes out. No burn, but a ton of damage to Sarina. Still not enough to KO the Torkoal, as the Lava Bloom takes down Potato. Iron Moth comes out. Sun boosted. Fiery Dance. Does he get the boost? No boost for the Iron Moth, so Shiftry should be able to come in and secure a KO with the Terra Ground Terra Blast. Incredibly intelligent. You know, that's a situation where you got to be watching. You got to be... He doesn't really have a ground resist, though, on his team, does he? Good job, Speedy Blue. I'm going to remember that Potato doesn't have a ground resist. Here we go. Solar Beam into the Sylveon, doing very little damage. Solar Beam again. It looks like we're just trying to get as much chip as we can on his last tanky Pokemon. Because once he's done here, goes into Pheasantipity, the poison type. Not sure why he didn't go into this sooner. Alluring Voice doing no type of damage. Beat Up. Why Beat Up? Does he want to trigger Rage Fist on the Annihilate? I mean, a move that attacks 6 times versus an opponent who gets boosted every time he takes damage. What on earth? Oh, you know what he's trying to do? Is Toxic Chain, I believe, has a way. I believe Toxic Chain has a chance to spread Toxic every time he makes contact. So that move will Toxic his opponent. However, extraordinarily risky when Rage Fist is on the other team. That's the most interesting matchup here. That was very interesting. That was my favorite thing I've seen today. Yeah, the Earthquake into the Annihilate, doing a ton of damage. Bulk Up, still not going to be enough to prevent this KO from Dugtrio. And then Dark Pulse, not enough to KO Dugtrio, but it is enough to get the flinch. It is enough to get the flinch. Potatoes in the chat says, I still win. Pheasantipity, maybe Choice Scarfed? No, but takes that fantastically. Oh, he's Poison Fairy. I thought he was Poison Psychic. Okay. U-Turn, despite being super effective, only does 36% to Darkrai. Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, KO. Chi-Yu proving once again to be the superior special Dark type. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to the stream. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll supercut this stream for you. And yeah, hit that sub button. I appreciate every single one of you who watches these. Take care. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.